ESPN star lineup breaking from the network to call for fairness in women's sports. Two of its major players are arguing that transgender athletes should not be competing in women's sports after the White House expanded Title IX protections to include gender identity. Charlie Arnott left ESPN, is now the newest member of the Outkick team, and she's with us live in New York. And welcome to our team here.
Yeah, great to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Good morning
this is
to
a pleasure.
you. All right, so let's get into it, okay? So Samantha Ponder and Sage Steele kind of broke with the network. Here we go. The tweets from Ponder and Steele. Ponder says it's a shame that we're needing to fight for the integrity of Title IX in 2023. Imagine how long that's been in law, right? Also, Steele says, I keep thinking I'm going to wake up and be relieved that this was all just a ridiculous, comical, nonsensical dream. What happens to them?
Well, that's the question, because ESPN has been very adamant about keeping politics out of their programming, yet you just saw late last month, they did a whole tribute during Women's Month for Lia Thomas, so therefore it doesn't exactly seem like they are keeping politics completely out of the mix. But I have to commend these two women for standing up for these women who unfortunately are losing so much of the success that they've worked so hard for. I mean, here you have a man who enters the women's division, and let's be quite honest about Lia Thomas. As a man, didn't really do much, didn't move the needle. Run-of-the-mill swimmer, enters the women's division, starts breaking records, completely obliterating any type of success that these women could ever hope to reach. So as far as ESPN, I don't really know what their plan is as far as whether they talk to these women or address it on air. I would hope that this would be something that they would address, but up to this point, they've remained completely mum on the topic. So I'm not sure exactly what happens, but I know Sage has been a huge advocate for women and their rights and very outspoken.
More and more people speak up with a similar voice. Go ahead.
So one of the things I've always wondered is about the retired, already successful, already rich women who have made their money, made their fame in women's sports, and will not stand up for women in women's sports. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I think it's really,
I get it. I mean, we get it. We know what's going on.
I think there's a lot of women who are uncomfortable standing up for women's rights because, you know, they don't want to be considered politically incorrect now, because now it's just really crazy where the world has gone and where this conversation has gone. And it's a very slippery slope, because when you look at, this is swimming that we're talking about, you know, the main issue where we've really seen a transgender permeate the women's world. But there's so many other sports that are far more aggressive than swimming that are team sports. I mean, you think about soccer, you think about basketball. How about even just an average athlete, a male athlete, enters that world? Yeah. What's going to happen to women? It will become a very dangerous landscape.
And in track and field.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if Lia Thomas could have done this in any other league other than the Ivy League. I mean, maybe not. So you're here now.
Yes.
Why'd you leave ESPN?
You know, I'm a very opinionated person. I always have been. That's something I really love about myself. And I just felt like at ESPN, I was a little bit stifled. There was a lot of conversations and issues that have really just permeated the world of sports and really just society in general that I was not able to speak up about. And it made me very uncomfortable because I felt like I wasn't being true to myself. So then here's a place like Outkick that really the idea of cancel culture does not exist. And you have a guy like Clay Travis who really stands behind everyone who works at the company and says, listen, you can say whatever you want as long as you are convicted in what you're saying and you really believe in it, you have nothing to worry about. And that is the exact type of company that I would like to work for.
Well, welcome.